I think I've lost my mind. This is what we're doing. Nice little chunk of maple. Call it swamp maple. I'm not real fond of that name, to be honest. It has some pretty grain in it. I'm sure once it dries out and I get it finished up, it's gonna look sweet. So this is what I've been up to here. Processing some blanks, baby. These are 16, 17 inches. Got some other ones chilling over there. Alright, so this is what we're playing with today. Definitely the heaviest piece I've had on this lathe. And this gotta be, I don't know, that's 35, 40 pounds more. Boy, yeah, there's some pretty stuff in this wood right here. Alright, so, dang, got a beast on here today. Right at 16 inches. I just weighed it. It's 52 pounds. The wings are at 10 inches. So it's the biggest bowl I've turned. And of course it's going to finish a lot smaller than this, but this is by far the biggest bowl I've turned on this lathe. Heaviest. Alright, so what I mean by the first half of a twice turned bowl, holy shit. 52 pounds. She's wet. So I'm gonna turn the outside shape roughly. I'm gonna leave the walls really thick, and I'm gonna set it to the side to dry for like I don't know, a long time. So several months probably. Because right now this in log form would never dry, like literally it would never dry. It adapts to the humidity in the air, and I live in the Tampa, Florida area, so it would never dry, here. So I'm gonna find me a center, get this thing mounted up here. Oh, write this down. Let's see. There's people with a lot more experience than me. It's probably jumping out of your chair or switching the channel right about now, probably. But this is how I'm gonna do it. And if you are watching, I do appreciate it. Alright, so just couldn't find a good camera angle for a minute there, for one thing. So this thing's heavy. I'm not gonna say I don't know what I'm doing, but I can say it's my first time doing such a large piece. What could go wrong, right? So first of all, let's try to get this thing mounted up. It's easier said than done, people, I'm telling you. Alright, so first of all, got the It's funny, I hardly never lock this thing. And the one time I don't want it locked. It's locked. Alright, let's see here. Holy shit. This is ridiculous. Alright. Alright, let me see something here. Right there. Oh man. Alright, that's the most balanced I've seen, but let's see. See, that's way off right there. 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch off. So basically just eyeballing the top. Ooh, that looks good. I'm not including the bark. I'm not leaving the bark on. I say that now, but I doubt I would leave the bark. It's supposed to be fun, so how fast can I run this thing? Uh, 247 RPMs. You know, 328. I got a little wobble. I think I'm gonna roll. We're gonna play with it a little bit. I have to experiment around with what to use and all that, but that's okay. Wow, that sucker's still going. So what I'm doing is switching over to a face shield. My good face shield is not, I'll just say it's not here yet. I had to buy a new face shield. This one's better than nothing, but it's pretty wimpy, so I do have to like be cautious here. Alright. $369. Whoop, whoop. I'm scared of it. It's heavy. What I mean by that, say my finger gets stuck in here. That thing was 52 pounds with that kind of momentum. I'm at 372 RPMs right now. It'll rip my finger out. It wouldn't even slow down, bro. It would slow down to 360 or something. That's it, and rip my finger right off. So I gotta be careful. Right now I'm just using the pointy end of this carbide square cutter just to hog out. Look how ugly this. What was that? What's this? Oh. Look how ugly these cuts are, you know. This is just to hog out a whole bunch of material. That's all I'm trying to do. Alright, there we go. I'm trying to get y'all closer in so you can see this stuff. Alright, just a couple things going on here. 1 inch, 3/4 inch. 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 1 inch The Laguna 1836. Love this machine, by the way. It has two speeds. One is for higher speeds, 135 to 3,500 RPMs. And then there's another pulley in here, another gear, where you can go 50 RPMs to 1,300. And you have a lot more torque. So I'm going to go for that torque setting right now. I'm going to hit my emergency shut off power over there. I can see there's no power. And I'm going to talk about that emergency shut off power switch. I think it's important for probably any expensive tool you have, really. This machine will not run on a GFCI outlet. Will not run. The speed controller doesn't work that way. So you have to kind of, hotwire it, so to speak, or, plug it into an outlet with no GFCI protection. So if you get a surge, it can fry your motherboard in here if you get a power surge during a storm. So I just got me this here little emergency power shut off button there. That's a different video though. But I am going to switch gears here. Now I put a little bit of tension, but not too much. I don't put too much tension on mine, guys. Not too much. Alright. And here's the deal. I want that belt to slip before it damaged anything else, or me for that matter. I would rather that belt slip than catch me off guard. Now I'm in first gear. Turn this bad boy on. Look at that, 49 RPMs. So I'm still gonna go up to the 370 range that it was earlier. Difference now, this thing's not gonna bog out. I'm not gonna lose RPMs when I start hogging out material here. 378 RPMs. I saw it drop from 378 RPMs to 369. So like 9 RPM loss with me gouging a carbide tool into the side of this 52-pound hunk of maple spinning. That's not bad. This is only the 110 volt system, and she has plenty of torque. This is where you got to be careful. Working on this side has its hazards. I'm starting to step over in front of the mass swinging in on me here. So there's a couple things I'm going to do. I'm going to check the tightness of tailstock support. Get that really tight up in there. I'll lock everything down one more good time. This is where it can get sketchy, But once I get past this corner, I'll be able to pick up the speed, pretty good bit more. See, that was a catch. Even with this, you gotta be patient. I either forgot who I was or forgot who I wasn't just now. Doesn't work that way, bro. You gotta be patient. What a dummy. Look what I did. Let me bring y'all around here. Can't do that. See how see how this material, and then all of a sudden nothing, and then all of a sudden look at that, skipped here, dug in real bad there. It's like 5 inches away, dug in there. Looks like it kind of blew out. Yeah, look at that line. You guys see that? Hold on a second. Alright, check this out. You can see the line it took right there. And then just, it blew out right there. That's what happened. Woo. So I blew out here. And I was cutting air for a second. And then all of a sudden, so I hit here. And then you can see how it skipped like 5 inches. Right there. So you can't do that, man. Basically, I gotta work from this side, don't I? I'll show you some up. Alright, so what I need to do, I just gotta work on this, get this thing in balance more, otherwise it's just not gonna work. Sometimes it just takes a minute to get a game plan together, how you're gonna approach something. You know what I mean? These things are a lot of dang work. So I was digging in real hard right there. Y'all saw that. And I went from 389 RPMs down to like 359. That's not too bad, man. I don't see why you need a whole lot more horsepower than that unless you're coring. You know what I mean? If you're coring, it's a different story, I guess. But this is plenty of horsepower. Let's get at it. Starting to get not very safe, so I'm just gonna switch gears. I'm gonna work on the shape of the bowl. I'm gonna work on the bottom, a tenon, and then we'll flip this thing around and hollow it out. Alright, I'm gonna switch over to the round nose hollower. See if that does anything. Actually, I'm gonna sharpen it first. Alright, so we're gonna start working on a shape and the bottom, you know, a foot, a tenon. We'll just call it the bottom for now. $468. I'm gonna kind of work an inch or so at a time and just allow a shape. This would be a very rough shape anyway, but do I want a closed form bowl? Do I want to kind of winged out at the top? You know, I gotta kind of think of that in advance. I'm gonna leave it a good 1.5 inches thick, you know, walls to dry, maybe more, maybe 2 inches thick. But I still should keep those kind of details, design elements in mind. talked about this before. I'm experimenting with push cuts and pull cuts, and you have to keep experimenting. What worked back here is not working up here, and vice versa. Right here, the pull cut seems to be feeling the safest and just the most effective right now, for sure. Little pull cut. See, with a bowl gouge, you'd be wanting to work with the supported grain in this direction. Supported grain from the inside out, just the way the fibers are facing you. When the end grain comes around, the fibers are sticking out like that. So you want your bowl gouge to be cutting at an angle with the fibers. Otherwise, those fibers could tear apart. That's where you get tear out. So alright, so foot. I think first of all, so I want to get rid of this nub and reposition the tailstock back to get, should I? So there's this crack right here, there's voids in there, this is bark. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of this and then sort of remount it before I do a final shape on the outside. That's what I'm gonna do right now. Let's see. So you just have to stop every now and then and look at what you're doing and make little tweaks and things. Bro, that looks like it has some bruising in it. But I'm seeing chatoyance already. Seeing it's cool, like flame looking. Look at that stuff right there. I don't know if you can see all that. There's this flame that's popping up in here. This is gonna be nice. So I want to get this done, don't get me wrong. But you gotta like kind of take your time a little too, you know, so you don't get hurt. Nobody wants to get hurt. Whoa, dog, whoa. Well, that was dramatic. I do feel safer. I'm gonna start working on sort of like a final shape with a tenon here. Alright, what I've realized is I gotta pick up the pace. This thing is so wet, you know, it's starting to wobble. I'm not sure if that's the wood drying or what. I need to get this thing hollowed out, shaped, hollowed out, get my tenon worked out in anticipation for warpage, and get this thing hollowed out. That should be pretty darn fun, actually. Alright, let's get on it. Alright. Interesting. The shavings and stuff is doing some interesting stuff here. Yeah, it's like paper. That's crazy. I'm gonna have to save some of that. Alright. That's what happens when you slipping, bro. What you slipping for? Bruh, look at that. Not exactly. Alright, well. All my fingers are still here. My bowl is still here. I think the only thing that happened, that's a little chewed up, it's not a big deal. But the tailstock support kind of made us some marks in here. That's the only thing that happened. Lucky. Alright, now comes the fun part. So, man, you see that? Oh, there's my squish. Bruh. That tenon was too close to be for comfort. Like, I almost had to switch these jaws out for the smaller jaws. I didn't want that. I mean, you gotta really take your time with the tenons. I almost screwed that one up. But I noticed I got a good half a turn of bite. So that should get us through this hollowing stage. So I'm gonna cheat anyway. And then once it dries, you know, a couple of months from now, I'm gonna have to reshape the tenon. So just gonna flatten off this front right here real quick. So this should be pretty cool. Hogging out time, baby. And once I get some of the material out, I might cheat and put my steady rest up here. Because I don't trust, this thing is still so heavy. I don't trust that tenon or any other tenon, to be honest. Or mortise or faceplate maybe. But then I'd have holes in the bottom of my my bowl, so that's not gonna work. Alright, let's see what we can do here. Again, I turn the power off on the lathe. Hey, Mama.
How's it going?
It's good.
You got a mess up in here.
I know.
Oh my god.
Sorry, come over here and look at this beast.
That's like the biggest, is that the biggest thing you've ever done?
I wish you could feel
It smells good too.
Right?
Seriously, it's really good.
It's like maple. Also, it's maple. Maple syrup.
It smells good in
I
here.
wish you could have seen how heavy this stupid thing was.
That's cool.
Well, you want to see how heavy it was? Come on.
Yeah,
It's like 50
personally.
pounds.
Look at these shit. She got a shoe. That's cool. Look at that, dude. I kind of
Oh,
want to keep it.
you should.
Did you try to pick it up or not?
Oh, I will.
You gotta have a fire.
Dad, you should make a bowl with the bark still on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they call it. Alright, I gotta start turning, Bubba. Do it. Alright. I have 513 RPMs. Woo, that's wet, bro, that's wet. But this time, look at these ribbons. This is what this time you gotta trust. Put your hand over here.
I don't know if I should trust that.
Okay, on top. And you're gonna be pushing down, kind of taking, I know it's scary, but no, that's perfect. So this way you're not in front of it. Alright, so what you're gonna do is kind of come over one step. So you gotta hold this against your hip.
Okay.
And you go in there, about this angle. That's called a push cut. And that's a pull cut.
Oh, nice.
Push cut. Kind of makes sense. So experiment. And we were kind of pushing down more than anything, but a little in, not much in there. It don't even take much pushing in. Go right here. Keep doing it. It's like you're carving.
That's crazy. Whoa.
Yeah, so I should probably lower. Hold on. Because of the angle. Well, no, that's the right here. Let me lower it just a smidgy. Oh. So when you do it, like hold it against your hip, so you got some. Yeah, you know what I mean. You just got to be strong about it. And I'm gonna give you a little bit of an angle here. That seems to, so then you can practice what you're kind of in or at an angle. It seems like about an angle like that, pulling and pushing. Let's see what you got. Oh, it's touching me. So before you get in there, like really get a hold of it, and then slowly push it in towards the the shavings go with different places. Seems like if you pull, when pulling, the shavings go that way. When pushing, they come towards you. Could be wrong. like that. Yeah, work it. Well. Nice. Work around in here. That's a little scary. That's called a catch. What you do is okay. Well, you know what? You use, there's one that use this one. This one is like impossible to get a catch with.
Oh,
It has training wheels.
okay.
But also I need to leave this real thick. So like don't, I need to leave that thickness. So do inside there. Try that. Alright, so I think I need to pick up the pace a little. This thing is, I don't want this thing getting too far out of round. So there is this bark inclusion, and I can feel it, and there's a ton of water coming out of this thing. And I still might put the tail, I don't know that I can. This thing's so big. I'm not sure that I can use my steady rest. Problem is with the bowl gouge, I have no way of sharpening it right now. So this thing is not sharp. It is nice, though. Alright. That was pretty bad. I don't know if it I don't know if the camera picked that up. But I just got a nasty catch, bro. Oh my god, look at that. Like a blowout. Slipping, bro. I wanted to get this done too fast. You can't be in a hurry like that. You got to take your time. Be strategic. Like right now, I'm gonna switch gears, man. I'm gonna stick to this outside. I'll come back to that in a bit. Just gotta slow down, though, D. Slow down, boy. So here's the thing. I don't normally turn bowls this humongous. Get that right out in the open. Don't need to be working so far off the tool rest. You know, like way in there. So I just have to take this down. Alright. Couple of bad catches, even with the carbide, and idiot. I really did not want to remove the tailstock, but I guess I'm gonna have to. Let me see how this goes though. Pretty good. Just a tiny bit more. It's pretty darn good. Just under 2 inches. I think I'm going to stick to that. Clean this up a little bit. I don't know, maybe I should hit it. Should I sand it a little? I'm not real sure. I'm gonna sand it just a little bit. Alright, well that's why they call it roughing, because it's rough to even watch. So this was by far the biggest, heaviest, I'll say the heaviest piece I've ever turned. Started off at 52 pounds, soaking wet. After I roughed it out, I left it just shy of 2 inches thick, so it has plenty of room to warp as it dries. Even though I'm finding this particular maple, it really doesn't warp all that much when it dries. I mean, it does, but not too much. So start off at 52 pounds, and I weighed it after all this was 18.4 pounds. And I did, I put the date, so I did this December 11th, is when I roughed all this out. Been some things delaying me from getting back to the videos here on YouTube, but I'm trying to get back at it. So 18.4 pounds. I'm gonna let this thing dry for like a long time. Several months. It's too big to fit in my microwave. The microwave can speed up the drying process. I did a whole lot of other bowls that you'll see very soon that I did use the microwave to dry them, and they're actually completed. They're finished bowls now. So stay tuned for those videos. But this thing's gonna be cool, man. There's a lot of character going on in this wood here. I left a foot, sort of a rim style foot, where I'll probably end up putting like 3 feet on here. That way it always sits flat on a table, even after the bowl warps. 3 points of contact will always sit flat. So I am looking forward to finishing this bowl. That'll be quite a while. But I was going to say, do stay tuned. I got this really large maple log, and I've processed it from log. So like I say, I have a handful of finished bowls already. Those videos will be coming out. So just to give you an idea about this particular one here, it's about 1 7/8 thick, right at 15 inches wide. A little over 15. It's I'd say 7.5. Whoa. 7.5 tall when I including this foot. I don't know if the foot's going to stay or not. We'll see about that. But anyway, it was a tough turn, to be honest with you. I learned a lot, and hopefully you guys enjoyed watching me suffer through this. The next time, I definitely have ideas on how to make this easier on myself. The next time I do it, and there's going to be a next time, because I think that's my new jam right there, is to get a log. I want to get all species of, I want to turn things from log to finished bowls, vases, finished products. So thanks again for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe. My name is Donnie, and this is my turn. See you next time.